everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, on Twitter, and at dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, guys, welcome to Wednesday. We are here in the middle of the week. And to be honest, the world is still buzzing about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I was planning on seeing the film for a third time today. I got caught up finishing up my Christmas shopping. Not going to get a chance to do it, but I'm sure sometime within the next week, I got quite a few days off. I'm sure I'll get a chance to do it and go see it for a third time. So before we move on, I just want to mention a little bit about the craziness that is going on with this film. Now, the film is breaking box office records, of course. Records that only The Force Awakens has been willing to withstand. So whether the longevity of this film continues, I don't know. But a lot of audiences are divided on this film. Now, you can check out my review up on the pages where you find Dayspring Discussions, iTunes, YouTube, etc. I like the film. Did I love it? Not really. I mean, it's definitely not the best Star Wars film. I don't know if I put it in my top 3, maybe my top 5. It's very different, takes a lot of risks. For that, I give it praise. And like I said, if you haven't seen the film twice, I highly recommend doing that. Because really, anyone who I've talked to, they have a better experience the second viewing. Because first time you have all those expectations. Second time you go with a clear head, knowing what's going to happen, and just enjoy the film. And that's what I must say. If you aren't quite sure about this film, make sure you see it twice to give yourself a clear head with it. So I liked it. There are obviously issues with it. You can't ignore that. But a lot of people have a lot of issues. There's one video clip I posted up on the Facebook group about this guy from ET Canada. I don't know who he is. First off, I'm going to just be rude here, so I'll go ahead and say it. So my credibility might go out the crapper when I start insulting this guy, but I don't care. He looks like a huge dork. I mean, a huge dork. Doesn't know what he's talking about. He's nitpicking about the stupidest things, about eating and hunting and all this other silly, stupid stuff. He was just a crybaby fanboy that the film didn't do what he wanted to do. Now, he did bring up a couple of points that were decent, but the rest of his argument was just total crap. And really, this is like the problem, is a lot of people, it's not what they wanted. We spent 2 years theorizing, fantasizing, who are Rey's parents, where did Snoke come from, how are they going to deal with Princess Leia, what's Luke going to be like, all this stuff. And it did exactly what nobody thought it would do, but not in a bad way. But because it didn't happen the way they wanted to happen or the way they thought it might happen, they're disappointed. To that I say, sorry guys. I like the film. A lot of people that I know did like the film. If you're disappointed with it, don't see episode 9. I think Star Wars will survive without you. Otherwise, it's a movie-going experience. I recognize most of the flaws. People have talked to me. I spent yesterday on social media talking to people about the film. And I recognize most of their complaints are legitimate. But they're also able to pivot out of them. People with stupid nitpick stuff are just people that are complaining that the film didn't do what they wanted it to do. And I'm sorry, I won't complain for that. Because even though the film did stuff that I totally didn't think it was going to do, I still find it okay that events transpired the way they did. I still walked out of the film happy and enjoyed and excited for the next chapter. So that's all we can do. If you feel otherwise, I'm sorry. Film's subjective. We all have our own opinions. That's the great thing about it. But I say if you did walk out disappointed and you haven't seen it twice, do it again, please, and just give it another chance to, like I said, get a full range of emotions on it. Walk in there the second time. Your expectations have been thrown out, and just try to enjoy the film. And you might still be disappointed with it. That's fine if you are, as long as they're legit concerns. Stuff about complaining about hunting and fishing and how Luke was living his everyday life, dude, get over it, okay? That's just stupid stuff to complain about. Okay, moving on, guys. It is the middle of the week. Of course, it's Wednesday. New comics come out today. I have not read any yet, but I'm going to do that tonight and probably tomorrow morning. So you know that tomorrow's show, I'm going to give you my recommendations for new comics. So be on the lookout for that. Also coming up on Friday, Netflix is premiering their new movie, Bright. Now, last week there was a trailer to go along with it. The film stars Will Smith and Joel Edgerton and directed by David Ayer. Kind of one that people have been looking forward to quite a bit. I know I have, where it's a modern day world where humans, fairies, orcs, elves, they all live together on Earth. There's a magic wand that's found. Will Smith and his partner, played by Joel Edgerton, have to contain it. It looks like quite a ride. And David Ayer, I like David Ayer. You know, he's known for films like End of Watch and the writer of Training Day, most notably Suicide Squad. And I didn't like Suicide Squad, but I'm not blaming David Ayer for that. That's a whole different Warner Brothers DC movie thing that I'm not getting into. So David Ayer as a director, I trust him. I like Will Smith. I like Joel Edgerton. I like the premise. I'm looking forward to this film. I'll probably try to sit down and watch it Friday night. I don't know. I'm falling behind on a lot of my TV stuff, guys, because it's Christmas. And I watched all the Star Wars movies. Now I got to get caught up on Christmas movies. It's a whole big thing, but I'm going to try to watch it this weekend and maybe get a review to you next week. We'll wait and see about that, guys. But check it out. That comes out on Friday, and let me know what you think. Okay, getting to the actual meat of the show. First off, James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez have premiered their first trailer for their live-action adaptation of the popular cyberpunk magna Alita Battle Angel. Now, James Cameron is producing. It's a long time kind of passion project of his. He's been trying to get this film out for several years now. Then he ran into some issues with his schedule for the Avatar sequels, so he passed the baton off to Robert Rodriguez to direct it. Cameron said, quote, "Robert and I have been looking for a film to do together for years, so I was pumped when he said he wanted to do Battle Angel. This project is near and dear to me, and there's nobody I trust more than Robert. With his technical virtuosity and rebel style to take over the directing reins, we're looking forward to learning a lot from each other while we make a kick-ass epic. The story centers around a female cyborg discovered in a garbage heap by a scientist. With no memory of her previous lives except with her deadly martial arts skills, she becomes a bounty hunter tracking down criminals." Kind of sounds like a Bourne Identity Wolverine kind of thing going on there. In any event, the film stars Rosa Salazar as the main character. You got Christoph Waltz, Jennifer Connelly, Marshala Ali, I know I said that wrong, sorry, Jackie Earl Grey, among others. The film comes out July 20th, 2018. Now, I had heard about this film for a while. I knew it was a passion project Cameron had been trying to do for many years now. I was surprised to see the trailer pop up because from what I know, he was still thinking about doing it, but didn't actually get it executed. And I didn't know that Robert Rodriguez was actually going to direct it. From what I know, I thought Rodriguez was going to work on the Johnny Quest film. Learned that he had dropped out of that to do this. So here we are. The first trailer, I gotta say, I was impressed. No one can doubt Cameron's style. The two biggest films in movie history both belong to James Cameron. Titanic and Avatar, okay? And they probably won't be beat for a long time. However, Cameron is not directing the film, he's producing the film. Really, it's Robert Rodriguez who has the reins of this story. Now, he's done some great films like From Dusk Till Dawn and Sin City, but he's also done some recent bad films such as The Sin City, A Dame to Kill, Machete Lives, although I enjoyed the first Machete. But in any event, he hasn't had a lot of success lately in getting some box office hits. This could turn around. I like the story. It looks interesting. You have this character, Attila, and there's all these comparisons to why, oh, she looks, different, and she doesn't look human. Like, I don't think she's supposed to look human. She's supposed to look like a robot. She's supposed to have bigger eyes than everyone else, so she's supposed to be different. Well, a lot of people are trying to tame that uncanny valley to make computer-generated faces look virtually indistinguishable from real humans. This one doesn't try to do that. It's not trying to make Attila look human. I don't think that's what's happening here, and I'm fine with that. The film looks like it's got some good action. The story could be good. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But just for this trailer alone, I think we're going to get a good sci-fi romp. It's set right in the middle of summer. so it could be a good popcorn flick. My only hesitation, like I said, is Rodriguez. I like a lot of his films. I don't like a lot of his films. It's a mixed bag for me. What side he brings this, I don't know. Under the watchful eye of James Cameron, I really can't say that I think it'll be bad, given that I like both these directors and filmmakers. Nevertheless, go online, check out the trailer, and let me know what you think, guys. Okay, next up, Hasbro has announced, along with Paramount Pictures, release dates for the start of the Hasbro Cinematic Universe. So, according to the press release, a new G.I. Joe film is going to be brought on March 27, 2020. Then we have the property Micronauts, that's going to come out October 16th, 2020. And then an untitled Hasbro property is going to come out October 21st, 2021, along with a new Dungeons & Dragons film going to be released July 23rd, 2021. Now, this is all part of the groundwork they're trying to lay with a Hasbro Cinematic Universe that includes G.I. Joe, Micronauts, M.A.S.K, ROM Space Knight, all that stuff. Last year it was revealed that Goosebumps director Rob Letterman was set to helm the new Dungeons & Dragons film, along with Ansel Elgort, who starred in Baby Driver, is set to star in that. It remains to be seen if the two of them are still attached to the project or not. We'll just have to wait and see. There was a previous Dungeons & Dragons film that came out in 2000, followed by 2 direct DVD sequels. And then we've also had 2 live-action G.I. Joe films, G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra and G.I. Joe Retaliation. So Hasbro is trying to get into the cinematic universe. They already have Transformers. Why they can't try to incorporate that into it, I don't know. I would like to rather see them reboot Transformers into the cinematic universe. Transformers and G.I. Joe go together so well. They've done many crossovers in the comic books. It just makes sense. Let's do Transformers, G.I. Joe, and M.A.S.K and ROM all together. Micronauts can be thrown in there. I think that'd be fine. So to start off, I'll go ahead and say Micronauts I'm not that familiar with. I know it was an 80s cartoon with a toy line. I didn't really watch it. I really wasn't into it, so I'm not really going to talk about that. Dungeons & Dragons, never played it. I know it's a popular board game. I know it was a shitty movie. I think it was a cartoon as well. Whatever. I like the genre. I like the, sword and sandals fantasy genre. If they do it good, great. But the last preview film sucked. So make sure it's good, and I'll be okay with that. The one I really can comment on is G.I. Joe. I grew up in the 80s watching the G.I. Joe cartoon. I had several of the toys. My real passion, though, was the G.I. Joe animated movie. I still love that film. It's right there behind the Transformers animated film. I remember the theme song to it. I remember introducing Flint, Duke's half-brother, voiced by Don Johnson. It had a lot of good characters, like Jinx was in there. Overall a great, enjoyable film. I still think it's awesome. So really, with just that in mind, I want to see something that's closer to that film, to the animated show, because there's a reason we love them. They were great characters, and they're great stories. The crap we got from Paramount with Rise of Cobra and Retaliation was disastrously disappointing, at least from my perspective. I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, especially the fact they put Channing Tatum in there, who now I think is an okay actor, but at the time, horrible actor, absolute horrible actor. And it didn't even look like G.I. Joe. It was nothing like G.I. Joe. Retaliation, you threw the Rock in there, so it could have been fun, but the story was all wrong. It was ridiculous. So I want them to do something. Stick to the source material. Okay? There's a reason the source material works. You stupid movie executives, okay? There's a reason people love these characters and these properties. You don't have to stray away from them to make something good. You just have to stick to what they love, okay? But make it relatable. It's not fucking rocket science, okay? You do what makes it popular. Okay, I went off tangent there. Sorry. I had a moment. I built on it. I do apologize. I'm coming back down. Too many times, studios try to get away from what the characters are, from what the property is, and why people love it. Capture the heart of it, figure out what the heart of it is, and go from there. It's not just an action movie. You can't give us just an action movie. The Transformers have become just CGI robots that you really can't even see what happens when the action is going on. Nobody cares. Humans don't matter. It's so stupid. God, I wish they'd reboot that franchise. But in any event, they're trying to make a cinematic universe when all other cinematic universes besides Marvel have failed. Why? I mean, I don't know. I don't know at this point. I mean, Hasbro, I can see G.I. Joe's good. I really want them to throw Transformers in there. Micronauts, I know what they are, so I think I'd be okay with it. M.A.S.K, I was a fan of M.A.S.K. I really love M.A.S.K, so throw them in there too. But there are so many failed cinematic universes now. Everyone's trying to do it. I get it. They see Marvel doing it. They've all tried to copy that success and have failed miserably. If they do it, that's great. But the last thing the audience needs is another failed cinematic universe. Let's think about it. Take our time. Make sure you've laid the groundwork like Kevin Feige did. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you know what your end game is, at least as far as phases, or at least, a good 4 or 5 movies out, what you want to do, and go from there. If you try to rush it, it's going to fail. If you don't think far ahead, it's going to fail. Think about it. Lay the groundwork. Do the work. Know why these properties have lasted a generation. I think I made my point. Alright guys, well that is going to be it for me today. I went on there a little too long as far as Star Wars, and I'm sorry about the little geek out about G.I. Joe, but in any event, I'm just going to leave you on that. I got to go wrap some presents. I'm going to sit down and maybe watch a little bit of The Crown Season 2. I'm really trying to get through it. I'm so behind on my television. I'm getting caught up on my movies, actually. I've been going to movies more often lately, but the TV side of it, I'm halfway through Punisher, halfway through Godless. I started The Crown. Hopefully these next week or two, I can get caught up on everything and see how that goes. I still haven't watched the rest of Runaways either on Hulu. Hopefully that'll be something I can get to once I get through all this other stuff that I want to catch up on. And, I'll give my opinion on that. You'll have to wait and see. But that's going to be it for me. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with comic book reviews and more news. So until next time, guys, may the Force be with us all.